Bus ride from Newark to Bingham, just for a giggle, if it lasts that long. Turn it off. Question is a Fiat, based on a Fiat van extended by a company called Mellors into a bus. It's, I think, 2020, 2018, I'm not quite sure, but she's showing her age. Bus station coming up, we don't go into today. It's called Beaumont Cross here in Newark. Like everywhere else, the roads are terrible, and this has got very hard suspension, particularly at the back, which is air suspension, which is great when you've got a lot of people on board, but when it's empty like this, it's like a Formula 1 racing car. Pulled over here because I'm running a little bit early already. Give it a chance to catch up. That's a Spring House pub that's up for sale. And over there is Newark Marina. Very nice too. There's some very expensive boats in it. We have a thing called the Crusader there that takes people out for day trips from places like our day centre and such like. It's a charity organisation. You can't actually come down and just go out on your own. Building a new road, which will be finished this time next year. It's all the bollards and roadworks. They're actually putting a whole brand new road on up there on the left hand side to cope with all the new houses that they're building here in Newark. Jesus Christ. So why there's any wheels left on this? Slight little bump, and that's the noise it makes. Like a solid bomb going off. Oh, we're heading into the farm. Pigeon. All it is about the pigeons this time of the morning, but they're all in the road and they wait till you get right up to them like now, and he walks away. It's like they're doing it on bleeding purpose. Nice area. Unless you've got the graveyard just there. It's a mixture of 40s and 70s sort of council houses you can drive in, and 70s buildings. Another suicidal pigeon. But it's alright, it's very close to the river, so it does flood. It doesn't flood up to here, but it does flood down the bottom where the actual river is. It can be quite naughty. I always give a little toot at the end of this trip because in this town people have the habit of driving on the wrong side of the road. It's an epidemic, to be very honest. Stoke. This road many years ago would have been absolutely chock-a-block with traffic. And then they built a bypass, the A46 bypass, and this is the result of that. It still gets used during the day quite a bit, but nowhere as much as it used to, say, 20 years ago. So this is one of the reasons why I moved out of London. At least here you can still actually enjoy driving. Apparently it used to be a maggot farm many years ago. Make of that what you will. In fact, I think my niece worked there for a while. On Recepciano. So we're just going to come down here and then into another village, Elston. Well, I've got some pickups later on the DRT. Once again, it's another little quiet, cramped village, I would call it. Parked cars everywhere. Dodgy right-hand turn at it. You can't actually see either way. There is a church that someone's bought and redeveloping. But there's a lot of nice properties here. Modernly built, but in the old style, I think. But unless you've got a driveway, it's a bit tight for parking. There's plenty of property for sale here. far right heading for the country. It's almost single track roads from now on. The sun's coming up, but it's not up. The fields have all been harvested. Again turning here into, eventually up into another little village called Sidwell, another tiny little hamlet full of very nice houses. This is what most of the bus routes that I do for Notts County Council are like. It's all these little country lanes interspersed with small villages and then the occasional big town. But the majority of the ones I do are like this, or have done in the past over the last 11 years working for the council. It's very flat-ish, you know, more than most, which is exactly why all the Lancaster bombers and fighter pilots were stationed here in the Second World War. Very little to hit on the way back. You know, shot to shit by Messerschmitt machine gunners. This is Sidwell. There's a bloke in a pickup truck waiting to come out. Still hasn't seen me. No, he still hasn't seen me. There we are. This is what I mean. So I'm just going to pull up here. Just once again, running a bit early again. And we should shortly see the other one of these coming the other way. But this is Sidwell, yeah. Very pretty, very attractive, well-kept little hamlet, village, whatever you want to call it. But it does get quite tight as you get through here. And particularly with these buses, being nothing more than a van really, you've got to think about your mirrors. They get knocked off very easily by transits and farm equipment and 4x4s. Because people tend to forget how low they are. More pigeons. Trying to get on the firm of each other, no doubt. village. Church here. Grumpy boy again, or is it someone else? No, it's Grumpy boy. Bumpy Bridge. Once again back into farm country. Just there, honesty box, but I've never actually seen anything in it. I guess it's fruit bits and bobs left over, but I've never actually seen. Because I only do it early in the morning or later on in the afternoon, so I never actually see anything in it. Oh, there's someone having a walk. Oh, and this is the weird walker. Gets up every morning and does what he's doing here. He walks like Groucho Marx. It's funny when you get these routes and doing it for a while, you do see the same thing day in, day out at the same time. This is Flintham. again and have a little tiny hamlet with a few people in it. There is a weird, I think it's here, might not be, but there is a very strange, huge statue of a woman. Like, you know, we're talking like Wicker Man size. I think it might be further on now. It's like a woman who's sweeping. That's what it looks like. I think it's a bit further down the road. Nice house there with that lovely glass balcony. There is that rock, which was called Sarah's Rock. When Sarah joined us a few months ago, well, I guess a while now, she actually stuck the bus on that rock. So Tim went out and put a sign that saying Sarah's Rock. Something, isn't it, the roads, particularly in this old bus. Now you've got to watch out for here is, just up here is Travellers sign. And they do have the old trotting horses sometimes. So you have to be aware of that, hence the skid marks there. Site there on the left. So a couple of times I've come down and, you know, you see it with the little trotters or the little ponies running up and down. Now this is Street. This is where, you might not be able to see it, but in the bushes up here there's a site, there's a cafe place for a lot of cyclists. No doubt I shall have that on, or maybe not this morning, but in the afternoon. But just here is a cafe somewhere, which cyclists tend to use in droves. Yeah, you can only see that 50-foot woman on the way back. I guess you call it, called Car Colston. It's Car Colston. Where the cattle are allowed to roam free. So it's another little hazard bit. Very rarely see it, but they are there sometimes. Plenty of lovely big houses for sale here. Well, not for sale, but here. As we go through this little bit here, you come into the very manicured area of Car Colston. Sharp left-hander here. Another little church in the foreground now. Just opposite there. Gets very busy with the grub and whatnot. And this is where the cattle are allowed to run free whenever. There's the Car Colston, I think it's still Car Colston, cricket green there with a lovely old Victorian looking cricket pavilion. They've got these gates all around the village. I mean, I've never seen them shut, but that's the idea. Gives you that air of mystery, doesn't it? So the gates going into a village. And then just like that, you're out of the villages and we're actually at Bingham. Back onto the main highway, also the A46, just there, the other side of those hedges. Is a very nice garden centre, a very large garden centre, Blue Diamond. Not cheap by any means, but a very nice place to take a visit. It's got a huge cafeteria in it. You've got a cappuccino and garlic cake or lunch. We're now going to be heading for East Bridgeford. This road obviously here goes over the A46. Once again, another posh village. But they are building a lot of new houses here. Well, the whole of this East Bridgeford and Bingham really is a bit like Newark. Wilmington is becoming festooned for new houses. Some nice and some not so nice. There's some very big posh houses here on the right. On the left, as you can see, Red Road. Got some very nice places to build in there. And they are now in East Bridgeford. best of roads, as you can hear, like everywhere else. I'm not sure, but I think some of the football players actually live in this area. They play for Notts County or whatever it is. Up here, on the right hand side, is an unusual building. It's almost a little bit Art Deco about it, but it's got this wonderful sort of sunshine effect on it. I don't know if the video will pick it up. It's just here. So you've got a bit of an Art Deco thing going on now. See the little sunshine thing at the top? 1952. I've just noticed the date on it. It just looks very nice. I like it. I need to hold back here because it does get a bit iffy. We're going right across here. A place called Newark. Just like that, you're back into open